So I've put my 4x8, 40 by 80 millimeter back on to my VerySuperCool T-square fence and squared it up the way I showed you how to do in the intro. So that's just, you know, dialed in completely, just using this piece of aluminum bar in my track. You could use a piece of wood, of course. My partner Jeff, he uses a dial indicator, so you know there's several different ways to do it. I'm just more of a quick and dirty guy. So this is a piece of plywood that I have, and I have another one for that first saw that I made. When I made these, I didn't have the 40 by 100. I only had the 40 by 80, so I made this to fit this slot here. So of course it's got T-nuts on the other side, and I'm just going to slip this in. Even though the plywood may have just a slight bow to it, especially after you put this laminate on, when you pin it down to this absolutely flat extrusion, it becomes absolutely flat too. And so I don't know if you saw my video series where I made plywood boxes. That's what I'm making a whole bunch of them. But I just did that short, or not a short series, it was actually pretty long. I did a video series on how to make these Baltic birch plywood boxes that I like to make. So I cut the rabbets in the plywood to join, and you saw me just cut the rabbets face down. Now I need to waste the piece off, and so I mean I've done it for so long I can make it happen, but it's certainly not as good with my old Biesemeyer fence because it was so low standing it up. But it was difficult to try to figure out how to put a tall fence on it like this. But you're going to see just what a big improvement this is. So now this is all the way down flush with the tabletop. You know, this is a really great setup if I'm cutting laminate or something else. And I can just feel that, you know, that's just exactly the same distance. So I'm sighting down that is just it's pretty darn straight. So now what I'm going to do is bring this over and get my saw dialed in and start making these cuts up here on the vertical. So let me get that set up and then I'll come back. You know what? I think I'm going to start here. I'm going to end up here. I think I'm going to actually shift this down so I have more surface bearing against this, because my pieces are about 20, so I've got support there 20. I'm going to just send it down as far as it'll go before I lose it off the end of that. I could have shifted the whole extrusion down too, but it'll be okay. Oh, that's perfect, like that. Just incredible flexibility. There, that's going to give me the support I want. All right, let me do some test cuts and get my distance and height dialed in just perfect. you're making cuts like this where you're really demanding this be exactly 90 degrees with your tabletop, because we have the nylon set screws in the VerySuperCool fence, you're able to perfectly dial your fence in to absolute squareness. So you're not introducing another bit of error into your piece. So just in a couple minutes it takes to, I changed extrusions and then I added this and then I kind of squared everything up and dialed it in just a few minutes. That's a real nice feature for tenons or for this kind of stuff here where you're using a tall fence. But you saw me cut here, I didn't have one bit of rock. My Wiesmeyer is only that tall and it's just not enough stability, but it's difficult to add a fence that long easily without clamps being in the way. But because of the connection points on the extrusions, it's very easy using the T-nuts and the tracks.